You must have seen some beautiful plants grown for their leaves in the gardens. Yes, these are ferns. Ferns are another group of plants which are known as pteridophytes. So today we'll be studying about all these different types of pteridophyta. So pteridophyta are the first vascular plants. They have well developed xylem and phloem. Do you know algae and bryophytes, they do not have any vascular tissues, and they are the first plants which have well developed body parts. Now these pteridophytes may be having big leaves like ferns or very small leaves like Selaginella. Pteridophytes have been differently used for different ornamental plants as well as for their medicinal value. Now let us study about different types of pteridophyta. They are grouped under 4 classes, which are Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteridopsida. Now these pteridophytes show a different life cycle which is called as haplodiplontic. They have a well developed sporophytic plant body which produces sporangia. These sporangia are present in the small dot like structure in the leaves. Leaves are called sporophylls, or they may be present in cones like aquisitum, and these cones are called strobili. And these strobili have got specific sporangia which bear spores, and these spores, after meiosis which they are produced, they again grow into small young gametophyte known as prothallus, which is green heart shaped, independent to live, and these prothalli develop the gametophyte. They bear antheridia and archegonia. Antheridium, as I told you in the previous part, antheridium are male parts and archegonia are female parts. Antheridium produces anthrozoids and the archegonia produces eggs, and after the fertilization the egg develops into zygote, and the zygote develop into a new plant, and this plant is sporophyte because this is diploid in structure, and this part develops into sporophyte. Initially it is a young sporophyte, later on it matures into a full-fledged sporophyte. So you can see this is a life cycle of pteridophyte which has both gametophytic phases as well as sporophytic phase. That's why it is called haplodiplontic. So pteridophytes may have 2 types of leaves, homosporous and heterosporous. In homosporous, all the spores produced are of similar type and they produce male and female gametes. But in case of heterosporous, there are 2 types of spores produced. Bigger spores are called megaspores, which are female gametophyte and produces egg, whereas smaller ones are called microspores. They are smaller and produce antheridia and which produce anthrozoids. So they are of 2 types, and that is heterosporous and homosporous, and finally the fusion of them produces a young embryo and which grows into a new sporophyte, which is the dominant phase of its life. So this is how the pteridophytes completes its life cycle.